Dearest gentle viewers, this season brings a romance most unexpected, where English tradition meets Korean inspiration, and affection is shared in more places than just the tea table. Some delights, it seems, are more impossible to resist, enough to make even garden statues blush. Pray join me for tea, sandwiches, and sweets worthy of a little scandal.
Welcome to Miami Cooking. I'm Azita, and today I've created an elegant tea spread inspired by Season 4 of Bridgerton. These recipes have Korean and English touches, inspired by the main characters this season, Sophie Beck and Benedict Bridgerton. Please join me in cooking this excellent tea spread. Let's get started.
Be sure to preserve this recipe for your household archives. Let us begin with the Betty Crocker Bridgerton Petite Strawberry Scone or Scone Kit. This box should have everything you need. However, Queen Charlotte does love a good surprise. That's why I'll be adding 1/4 of a teaspoon of rose water to my milk. And now we are going to add our baking mix to a mixer along with 1/3 cup of our rosewater milk and 1/3 cup of melted butter. And we'll mix this on a medium speed until it gets a dough-like consistency. Next, we're going to flatten our dough and we're going to start making our cuts. I decided to use a 1-inch biscuit cutter for bigger scones. I do believe this shall impress even the most discerning guest. The one provided in the kit is red and a bit smaller, quite lovely if you ask me, and proper for small lady bites. These look ready to go into the oven, and we'll place them there according to the packaged instructions, but keep in mind those smaller scones will need less time. And now they're ready and delicious. These smell wonderful. Now it's time to prepare these. In America, clotted cream is something of a rare indulgence, and at nearly $8 a jar, one hesitates. Most households instead prepare a perfectly lovely alternative by whipping heavy cream with a little bit of sugar. That is, after all, what I've done here. And now we're going to use the strawberry jam included in the kit, and we're going to place it on our scones, and I recommend using a small spoon to spread these. And there you have it, a lovely scone with beautiful notes of strawberry and rose. Benedict's Garden Tea Sandwich. For fashionable tea sandwiches, simply place one slice of bread on top of the other and use the biscuit cutter from earlier to make elegant cuts. Next, we're going to be using Boursin or Boursin Cheese. This particular flavor is shallot and chive. Now, this cheese can usually be kind of crumbly, so what we're going to do is we're going to add some heavy cream to it in order to make it more light and fluffy. And we are going to mix this until it gets nice and whipped, soft and airy. Keep in mind we'll be making 2 kinds of tea sandwiches, so we'll save half of all this whipped cheese for our next Korean-inspired sandwich. For now, we'll spread the cheese on all of our white bread slices. Next, we are going to slice our cherry tomatoes into multiple small pieces. Now we're going to pick off leaves from a parsley bunch, and we're going to need about 2 tablespoons that we're going to slice. It's time to use some melted butter, and we're going to brush it on these tomato slices. Next, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar or sweetener on these slices of tomato before adding our parsley, and we're going to sprinkle it randomly across. And into the oven they go at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes until they get nice and crispy. Then we're going to brush this again with butter and a little bit more sprinkles of sugar. Now, for your recipe, you want to use an English cucumber with nice little ridges, in particular one with a tip like this one, enough to put slices on top of our sandwiches. That little tip will give you these small circles. Now for the rest of the cucumber, we're also going to do some slices. These will be bigger and will be inside of the sandwich. Now we'll add a small pinch of salt to our cucumber slices in order to prevent a terrible soggy sandwich. Once the cucumbers have sat for 30 minutes, we can start preparing our sandwiches, the ones pre-filled with a cheese, and we're going to add our tomatoes on top, followed by our larger cucumber slices and some watercress. It's time to stack these, and we're going to use those smaller slices of cucumber from the tip to add to our tops, followed by a little bit more of our candied tomatoes. I recommend also adding those little bits of parsley for a little touch of color. Exquisite. Exquisite indeed. Sophie's masquerade tea cake coming up next. For this new tea sandwich, we're going to follow the same procedures as last time, stacking 2 slices of bread, but this time a darker bread, like wheat. Next, we shall take our pear and slice it neatly in half, before guiding it ever so carefully along the mandolin slicer. A few delicate passes will grant us these lovely rounded cuts. Then, placing the pear face down with the tip pointing towards the slicer, we shall slice gently to create these charming petal-like pieces. The pear's natural moisture works ever so helpfully here, persuading these tiny petal slices to arrange in perfect harmony. Now we shall toast our sesame seeds until they get a nice golden color. This will release aromatic flavors into our sandwich. Now for the top half of our sandwiches, we're going to add 2 of the round slices. And on the other side, we'll be placing the toasted sesame seeds. I recommend employing a spoon to gently press the seeds into the whipped cheese spread, ensuring they remain properly in place and do not attempt an untimely escape from the sandwich. Next, we will drizzle a touch of honey over the sesame seeds for a hint of sweetness. Once the sandwich is properly sealed, we'll crown the top with our delicate pear petals for decoration, and finish by carefully placing black sesame seeds for that most fashionable contrast of color. Perfectly elegant and sweet. Now on to Lady Whistledown's favorite, Lover's Aroma tea. Next, we will be using 4 Jujube or Jujube dates. These are called daechu in Korean. Now, all of these have a pit in the middle, so we're going to use everything around that pit. Once we remove all the pits, we're going to slice 3 slices of ginger, and we're also going to use 1 cinnamon stick. Now, into the teapot our ingredients go, followed by a generous pour of boiling water. Though I must confess, even the most modern shortcut, yes, the microwave, can produce a brew just as pleasing. Truly a tea worthy for every occasion, be it celebration or simple indulgence. Last but most certainly not least, Lady's Maid Green Tea Petitfours. First, we are going to mix some warm water with matcha, and we're going to whisk this until they both incorporate fully, making a matcha tea. Next, in a separate bowl, we're going to add salt and baking powder to our flour, and we're going to mix this around until it's fully blended. First, we shall whisk our egg whites with sugar at a spirited pace until they transform into a most luxurious foam, much like sea foam, thick and fluffy. In a separate bowl, we'll gently whisk the egg yolks with sugar at a modest speed, allowing them to grow slightly pale but wonderfully airy. Once softened and fluffy, we'll introduce our matcha and our oil, and finally our flour mixture, blending until all this batter becomes perfectly harmonious. If you recall our seafoam-like egg whites that were so nice and fluffy, now we're adding that to our mixture, and this is going to lead to a very luxurious cloud-like cake. Next, we are going to grease our thin cake pans, And we're going to place our batter. Because I use thin cake pans, I'm going to keep an eye on these in the oven because they won't need as much time. I recommend baking these at 350 degrees until you can poke it and nothing is raw inside. Now, for petitfours, I recommend doing a square shape. I went ahead and used the biscuit cutter and a cookie cutter in the shape of a square for a cube-like shape. Now we're going to add some light corn syrup to our white chocolate, followed by some warm heavy cream, and we're going to mix this until you get a smooth consistency. Then we're going to add just a few drops of almond extract. Once this is nice and smooth, we're going to go ahead and pour this over our little cubes. Now for some tips. I recommend doing this over a rack so that your petitfours don't stick to the bottom surface. And if your glaze doesn't fully cover the color under the cake, I recommend you add more white chocolate to your glaze. And now for the finishing touches. I recommend zesting a lemon on top of your petitfour and adding an icing flower in the middle for that perfect elegant touch and a burst of flavor. My dear gentle readers, if this recipe has stirred conversation, you know precisely where to leave your comments below. I shall see you again in the next society papers. Farewell for now. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more creative videos like this one, check out my Grinch video and my Halloween content. And I've got some more coming up soon. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you for all of your support. Bye!